Hey guys, Chaz here. I just want to have some real talk and talk about nationals. So at the end of July, I had the opportunity to go out and race elite nationals. It was something I've always wanted to do, and with last year's season ending, I was able to get my Cat 1 and upgrade so I could actually be able to target that this year. Nationals was an experience. First off, just leading up to nationals, we kind of had a game plan. I talked to my coach. We worked on a lot of things, and we had some weaknesses that we brought up, and we had some strengths that we really hit on. But as the month came closer to nationals, so entering into July, I just come off being sick. So that kind of threw me back a little bit fitness-wise. And then moving in towards about mid-July, since I'm a youth pastor, I took our students up to summer camp. And we were up in the mountains, actually above where Tyler lives, for about a week. The problem was I wasn't able to ride while I was there because they had a wildfire on the other side of Yosemite. And this wildfire just caused ash raining down from the sky and smoky weather and air. So with that, I took the cautionary card and said, you know what, I'm not going to ride. So I didn't ride all that week. So I have 2 weeks now within, 3 weeks that I've missed riding my bike. So then we get done with that, and literally camp's over, and the very next day I get to kind of rest, and then the following day, boom, on a plane out to Maryland. This vacation out to Maryland, where nationals was going to be two things. One, I was going for nationals, and the second thing was my wife is from Pennsylvania and my mom lives in Maryland, so we were going out to also visit family. That kind of stresses things too a little bit, because you wanna race your bike, but you also want to spend time with family. So when we first get there, the weather in Maryland is crap. I mean, it rained nonstop for like probably 3 or 4 days. I'm talking like one day they got 7 inches of rain in one day. It was just bonkers bananas. So that happened. It made riding tough. I ended up going out and riding in it somewhat. Didn't have a lot of my gear for rain weather, so that sucked, but at least it was warm. And then leading up to the big race, I was starting to get nervous because training hadn't gone as planned, and that was part of just because of my life and circumstances. So with it, I was getting nervous. So we fast forward, we get to Thursday, the day before the road race, and we go out to Hagerstown, Maryland. I meet Tony Wolf. He's ATP coaching, if you guys know who he is. He's one of my, I call him, consider him a best friend. So we hang out there in Hagerstown, and we go out on that Thursday, the day before the road race, and we do a pre-ride of the course. We actually met up with some juniors too who are also from the Fresno area, and we invited them to ride with us. And we go out and we pre-rode the course, and the course was a good course. It really suited my abilities. It really suited the type of rider that I am. But with that, it was going to be a tough race. We knew it was going to be a tough race. So both me and Tony decided our goal was to sit in the pack and just survive and get through this thing. So get back to the hotel. Good pre-ride. Tony smashed my Wahoo in the trunk of his car by accident because I left it on top and it slid down. So that evening I had to scramble to get a bike computer because, first off, if you're going to nationals, you gotta record it. You gotta throw up on Strava. Second off, I gotta know what kind of power I'm doing during this race because it's gonna be bonkers bananas. So I'm going everywhere. He's taking me to bike shops. We finally find a bike shop. We buy a Garmin. Ugh, don't like it, but I use it for the race. By the way, if anyone would like to buy a Garmin, I have a Garmin for sale. It's a Garmin Edge 520 Plus, the one with the maps. So just hit me up and I totally sell it. I've used it two times, that's it. It's brand new. Anyways, so I get that and I'm stressed out about that. So then I'm spending the evening trying to configure screens on a Garmin for the race in the morning. And finally, I get to bed at like 10 o'clock, and I'll be honest, I was so nervous, the pre-race jitters. It took me forever. It probably took me 2 hours to fall asleep, and I finally fall asleep. Then we wake up at 5, because for some reason they want to start the national road race at 7 in the morning. For me, being from California and traveling to Maryland and having a week there, waking up at 5 was like waking up at 2 in the morning California time. It was awful. So I wake up at 5 and just get in a quick breakfast, some coffee, get over to where the start is, which is, you know, literally I think like 20 minutes from a hotel. Meet up with Tony, we talk just a little bit, see lots of local riders from California are out there. I saw the Mike's Bikes guys are out there. Talks to them a little bit during the race, just different things, and so we line up to start the race, and on second row up in the front, I'm pretty sweet because there's like 120 guys entering in the road race. So the road race itself was going to be 120 riders. It was going to be 100 miles, and it was pretty much, I think we did around 5,000 feet of climbing for the entirety of the race. I will say it was the fastest 100 miles I've ever done on the bike. I think for the first 80 miles I looked down at my computer and we had an average speed of 27 miles an hour, and I was just like, what is happening? But back to the start of the race. Race starts. It's actually pretty chill. We turn, make our first turn on the road, and we turn left and immediately hit the feed zone, which just past the feed zone was the start of the climb. So we hit the feed zone, some dude attacked solo. I'm just kind of sitting up front. We start to go up the climb, and we went up pretty brisk. Probably the fastest we did it all day was the first time up it. But I felt comfortable, and then coming down off the climb, man, it was just non-stop. And then very quickly, within the first 10 minutes of the race, breakaway got established off the front of, I believe, like 6 or 7 riders. Crazy thing is, they were gone for 2 laps, but they were within sight the entire time. They probably had anywhere from 15 to 30 seconds just hanging off the front. And we were just going full gas as a group, just non-stop. So we catch them after 2 laps, and we're doing, I believe, 5 laps. So we catch them after 2 laps, and then from there, you know, I kind of got into like some counter-attack moves, and then I just went back and I sat in because I realized the humidity was starting to really take a toll on me, and just my fitness running up to it just wasn't where I wanted it to be. It was super close, but it wasn't my A game. So I started dealing with muscular fatigue, cramping in my quads, and we come into 1 to go, and the last little kicker coming into the finish line with 1 to go, it's kind of where there was a huge surge and the field kind of split. So I actually got split off the back, super humbling, getting dropped in a race. Luckily I wasn't the only one that got dropped. There's probably 20 other guys that got dropped, so I had a little group I was with. We almost actually caught back on through the feed zone because there was a crash and they all slowed down, but as soon as we started to barely catch on, they just pinned it, drilled it up the climb, and they were never seen again. So I was in the gruppetto of about 20 guys, and we actually got to like relax and talk a little bit and just talk about where we were from and our expectations of the race and how we felt, and come through, and we finished the race, and I take 71st out of like 120 guys. We only came in like 10 minutes after the group too, so I'll take that for sure. But Nationals was a great learning experience. Nationals was fun. It was fun. I had a lot of fun racing my bike. So one thing I did post Nationals was once I had some time to kind of think about what happened was, you know, I sat down and I kind of went back to the drawing board and I tried to figure out what could I do as an athlete to better my chances for next year. Because I'll be honest, Nationals was fun. Loved it, and it makes me want to come back next year and really have a shot at maybe making something exciting happen. So with that, you know, I got on the phone with my coach and my coach Chris Burnham, and we started talking about where we are now and where we have to go to be here. And honestly, it doesn't sound like that much of, you know, what it's going to take to make up from here to here. But it's going to take some, I guess, more motivation. It's going to take more dedication. Like, we're talking about hours a week. So right now I'm training anywhere from 10 to 10 hours a week. It's good for the crits. It's getting me by for the crits. It's for the road races where the longer hours, more hours in the week will actually benefit me more for the road races. I'm barely, like, I'm in the road races, but I'm just not super competitive yet. I used to be in the past. So what we've been figuring out going to the drawing board is, you know, what is it going to take? What's that magic number that's really going to help me to be flying not only just in crits but also in those road races? And something we came up with, you know, it's going to take 15 hours a week. So I'm looking to commit, you know, 15 hours a week to being on the bike. You know, and some weeks are going to be 13 hours, some weeks are going to be 16, 17 hours. You know, we even talked about how in the off season, you know, we're going to have to do maybe a week or two of 20 to 25 hours on the bike, just to really push ourselves and push myself. And then with that, you come out of the off season, you know, there's going to be a good base there. We're going to be flying. Right now, my FTP is at a good spot. And the goal is to not lose much of that through the off season, kind of keep it where it's at, and hopefully bump it up a little bit. But then as we come out of the off season, we should see it take leaps and bounds above where it's been ever. And I will say this year it's been pretty strong. I mean, it's been one of my strongest years with my FTP, but just with some things it kind of dipped a little too early than I wanted it to, but that's to be expected. We really hit on some weaknesses for me, and that's something also we're going to continue to address moving forward. Gym, we've been talking about gym, what we can do in the gym to really help with that. And you know, I have a game plan moving forward. Nationals was fun because it got me excited about racing again. Nationals was a great experience because it showed me, you know, I'm here and this is where I got to be to really be able to compete at Nationals. And to close that gap, it's not going to be that hard. So that's what really excites me. One thing I'm running into is making sure I don't spread myself too thin. So with that, I'm full-time youth ministry. I'm married. I'm now full-time enrolled in school, finishing up my degree in biblical and theological studies. And then I'm also trying to train 15 hours a week with gym thrown in on top of that as well. That's a lot for your life. So in order for that to look good, I guess, or in order to balance that, I have to find that balance. In the last couple of weeks I've been really working on that. You know, I found a routine that works really well is getting up, grabbing coffee, breakfast, using that time while it digests to just jump on the computer and do some work emails, jump on the computer and you know, look at some school stuff. And then what I do is I go out and I'll get my ride done. And I'm usually home by 11 or 12 in the afternoon. And then the rest of the afternoon is lunch, quick nap, and then I go straight into school or work mode depending on what day of the week it is. And then that's my life right now. And with that, since I'm able to work at home, I get to spend a lot of time with my wife, so that's how I balance the family as well, the marriage. So like I said, you know, there's a lot of things I'm tweaking, a lot of things I'm getting dialed in. Some other things I'm working on is nutrition, different things like that. But Nationals was a good experience, and I loved it. I raced the crit as well. That sucked. Don't really want to talk about the crit, but yeah, that was my Nationals. So it's been crazy. Oh, one last thing, dude. How about this hat? Do you guys like this hat? Tyler, vegan cyclist, he's come out with Ride Bikes. This hat is sick. I told him this is probably the sickest design that I've seen you make so far. He makes a ton of shirts too. This isn't one of them, but he makes Ride Bike shirts. They're awesome. Check him out. I believe the website is like Ride Bikes Bra or something like that. I'll have to put it in down below. But check him out. These hats are dope. Love them. Anyways, that's my story on Nationals. I know I was really pumped for it. I won't say it was a bad experience. It was a good experience. Even though things didn't turn out the way I wanted them to, it was a great experience and I really enjoyed it. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you guys later. See ya.